So the first round ever in the South Island for Supercars. Let's talk about it. So I've just finished watching the round at Ruapuna for the 2026 Supercars Championship, and it has been an interesting weekend of racing, more than we expected going into the weekend, as the cyclone from last weekend up in Taupō moved around to Friday at Ruapuna, which meant there was more points on the line, so much so that it was the most points offered in a weekend since 2001 Bathurst, with I think 560 or something like that. So how did each driver go during the weekend? Well, I'm going to talk about it in this video in my round review, as I do it usually. And if you like to see more content like this, give a like and a subscribe. The support would be very much appreciated. The momentum in the channel has steadily been going along quite nicely, and my last video I did on Ruapuna did rather well, honestly. And if you want to keep up to date with Supercars news and other sort of motorsport news, follow me on TikTok, Instagram or Facebook, whatever your preferred social media is, to be up to date with that sort of stuff. Anyway, as I usually do, going to go driver by driver on how they did throughout the weekend, starting with Matt Stone Racing this time. Now, Zach Bates did have a better weekend than he has done the last few weekends because he didn't get involved in incidents. He got consistent top 15 results. Yes, he was in drama every so often. The wee ACT battle between him and Cameron Hill is still going along, and he did make contact with David Reynolds. That didn't result in a penalty in that last race, but the speed is there for Zach Bates, which is very good, and he is getting top 10s. Jack LeBrock continuing to be the second best Chevrolet driver all year behind Anton De Pasquale, getting top 10 in results throughout the basically all bar one race was a top 11 finish. And in that last race, he was the best of the Chevrolet drivers. Dick Johnson Racing, Brodie Kostecki, he won a race this weekend, got that second race with the win. Basically a role reversal of what was to come in the first race. And it was a very good weekend for Brodie. Right at the end was tied for points with Brock Feeney for the JR Trophy right until the end, and when we get onto the other offending driver, I'll talk about the incident. But aside from that, decent weekend. It's just unfortunate because of that incident, he did lose the championship points lead going into the next round. His teammate, very impressive finishes. He got 2 top 10s in this weekend. One because Zach Bates got a penalty, so Zach Bates could have got 2 top 10s, but he instead got 1. Rylan got 2. Rylan got, like I said, that penalty for Zach Bates. That's how he got his first top 10. And the second one was because of a good strategy call where they went late on their tyre stop in the third race. So he rocketed through the pit or through the order to get 10th position. Just a shame that in the last race he got involved in that big concertina effect and crunched up the front of his car, because aside from that, it was a very good weekend from Ryland. It did help that it was an even playing ground for everybody involved, and you could say the same about some of the other rookies. For Brad Jones Racing, aside from that last race where a few drivers got good results, it was a very disappointing weekend for the team. Andre Heimgarten felt like the missing Kiwi throughout the whole weekend, really. They all were missing in qualifying, really, and Andre Heimgarten's best of 8th position is a far cry from where he was a few years ago at the JR Trophy. Cameron Hill couldn't bloody buy luck. He got involved in practice drama with engine issues. Qualifying was a drama. Race 1 was a drama. He got involved in another lap 1 incident in another race. He got 12th in that last race, which really salvaged a below average weekend for the Canberran. And like I said, he got involved in his little turf war with Zach Bates. As for Macaulay Jones, didn't even realise he got 16th. That's probably just out of sheer luck. He has been fairly anonymous for most of the weekend. If it wasn't for the fact that he had to avoid James Golding in the pit lane, he would have really been on screen. Oh yeah, he was also involved in that lap 1, race 1 start drama. Jackson Walls, out of all the rookies this weekend, he probably had the most I could say, piss poor weekend, to put it nicely. He didn't really excel anywhere. He got involved in a fair bit of drama, including in the last race, where you could say he was the start of the catalyst for that concertina accident. And it really goes to show, it's just a shame, because don't forget, this is a third Triple Eight car. So seeing a Triple Eight car run consistently in the late teens, early 20s is a bit of a shame, because like I said, it's proven that rookies can provide speed in Triple Eight equipment. Brock Feeney did it when he was a rookie. As for Triple Eight, it was a very consistent weekend for Brock Feeney, so much so that he got the JR Memorial Trophy, although in this case it sort of just landed in his lap. They had a lot of mechanical issues, but not the mechanical issues that are normal mechanical issues. They had radio dramas, they had cool suit dramas, they had wheel gun dramas throughout basically this whole trip to New Zealand. It's been a weird one for Triple Eight, so seeing them come away with major silverware is actually a surprise. As for Will Brown, mixed finishes all round. That first race was a disaster for Will Brown. He did get 2 top 10s, one of them being a 4th, and he did avoid Brody Kostecki spinning through pothole turn 3 just. So for Will Brown, he's still top 10 in the points, so it can't be that bad. It's not AGP bad, but it wasn't Taupō good. Somewhere in the middle, really. Team 18, Anton De Pasquale consistently showing good Chevy pace, being the top Chevy driver. Again, this is becoming a reoccurring trend of it being Anton De Pasquale, Jack LeBrock, and everyone else as a Chevrolet driver as their sort of pecking order, but he got a 5th and 2 6th. What really let him down was that last race, but he did qualify well in one of the races as well. He qualified 2nd in that last race. As for David Reynolds, his 500th race was this weekend on the Friday, and it got all of about 40 metres before there was dramas, because he was involved in that lap 1, race 1 incident, and he didn't really recover from there with speed-wise. He was terrible in qualifying, anonymous in the races. He got spun by Zach Bates, but that didn't result in a penalty, so he sort of spun on his own as well at the same time. Remember, this is the GM factory team, and there are a lot of sharks circling that 20 seat for a competitive driver. Is David Reynolds that right at the moment? This weekend shows probably not. Can he pick up that pace? I'm sure he can. It's David Reynolds. You never know when he is going to be on or off. He is very much a driver of confidence. Grove Racing, the next team I want to talk about, and it was the weekend for them. Both of their drivers won races this weekend. Matty Payne won 2. We'll start with him. The only reason, literally the only reason why he did not win the JR Memorial Trophy, because the wheel fell off in, I think it was the 2nd race. Yeah, it was the 2nd race, because he won the next 2. And he missed out on the JR Trophy by basically that much. So it was a shame that he couldn't go back to back with the JR Memorial Trophy, but again, he won 2 races in a New Zealand circuit, so he did give the New Zealand crowd something to cheer on. As for his teammate Kai Allen, well, he won his first race in the Supercars Championship. He won the Friday race in a strategic and defensive masterclass, going for the 2 tyre strategy in opposed to 4, which is what literally everyone else did in that first race, and he managed to hold off Brody Kostecki to win his first race in Supercars. Fun fact, the first time that someone has won their first race at a new circuit since Jim Richards back in 1985, I think, when he won at Winton. I in fact did a video about, well, Jim Richards' 1985 season, sort of. It's up in the top right corner if I remember to put it in the video. But other consistent results, race 4 he finished 2nd, so that was Grove's first ever 1-2 finish, so good to see. And the team is very much right behind Triple Eight Race Engineering in the team's championship. When it comes to Premier, they had some good results. They were really out of trouble for most of that. Declan Fraser was anonymous for a lot of the weekend, and he did get 10th place in that last race, so he has got a top 10 in this year. Like I said, quite anonymous though. He didn't really excel or anything, and he had a few dramas, I think. Jaden Ojeda had plenty of speed, consistently fighting in the top 10, even getting a top 10 finish with an 8th place. He is probably looking like 3rd on the ladder when it comes to Chevrolet performance. Come back to my next video for more on GM's issues. Tickford Racing, they were really, well, one car was there, the other car wasn't. Let's start with the car that was there, Cameron Waters. He wasn't there for qualifying though. I will say that he was very much disappointing in the qualifying run until the last race where he had starter motor issues, so he had to start from the pit lane anyway. But he managed to consistently finish in the top 10, which really helped Tickford Racing, because Thomas Randall was missing. He was asked for most of the weekend. He got involved in some dramas, but then he just didn't have speed in other races. Very much disappointing from the 55 driver, and those guys, remember, they came into Taupō as the team's championship leaders, so they have really sunk like a stone. Erebus, better speed from both drivers. Let's start with Job Stewart. He consistently had good results, and by good results I mean not finishing in the 20s for the whole weekend. He had little issues and he had decent race pace. He was what I'd say quiet in a good way, because he didn't get in drama. As for Cooper Murray, he also had a non-drama filled race weekend. He kept that car clean, unlike the AGP, and he had good speed at the end of the weekend, getting a 9th place finish, but predominantly round where his teammate was, so that is kind of disappointing because I have high raps on Cooper Murray. I reckon he does have potential to go far as long as he can get the wild child out of him. He kind of reminds me of Garth Tander's early days. Walkinshaw TWG Racing. Oh boy, I'm going to start with Ryan Wood in this one. I'm going to leave the best, if you want to put it that way, till last. Ryan Wood was basically had 1.5 hands on the JR Memorial Trophy. He had podiums throughout the weekend, he had consistent speed. It's just his luck and reliability, or lack of reliability, caught up with him. It's coming back from last year to haunt him, and he was 6 laps away from being another Kiwi to win the JR Memorial Trophy, but I can't even decipher the issue. It did not sound good. Put him on the, well, put him out of the race, and it made every Kiwi sigh in disappointment, including myself. As for his teammate, oh boy, remember, this is the defending champion, by the way, and it has been a terribly shit weekend for someone with the number 1. I'm not going to mince words. Chaz Mostert has been incredibly disappointing this whole weekend. He got 1 top 10 in this whole weekend. Ryan Wood was really holding the Toyota banner for Walkinshaw TWG Racing, and when Mostert had speed, he made what I can call a dumbass decision to block Brodie Kostecki like Cameron Hill did with Zach Bates last year at Queensland Raceway, and he got a 30-second penalty for that. Honestly, he got away lucky. To defend like that going into that sort of corner was frankly dangerous, and if there isn't any other repercussions for Mostert or Walkinshaw TWG Racing, I'll be surprised, because that move, yes, it's touring car racing and you fight hard, but there are limits, and you wouldn't even cross those limits in stock car racing. Whew. Finally, Blanchard Racing Team. James Golding showed plenty of speed, but I want to start with Aaron Cameron. He got a top 10. Finally, his extremely impressive qualifying is coming back for him. He got a top 10 in one of the races. The other 3 races, his race pace showed the detriment for him. He would fall back, and in some cases, his luck would catch up with him, especially in that last race. It's a shame, because I am a big fan of Aaron Cameron. It's just so cool to see him up there in qualifying, but then to see him sink like a stone. As for his teammate James Golding, it was a weekend of highs and lows. He got a 3rd and a 4th in races, so more silverware for BRT, so they can't really complain about everything this weekend. And also he did that wee Austin Powers moment in pit lane, so there were moments where James Golding had his issues, but predominantly filled with a lot of speed and confidence going into the next round. As for the points, Brock Feeney, he is leading the way, mainly because Brody Kostecki got Chaz Mostert, and he is only behind Brock Feeney by 23 points. Matt Payne, again, the wheel cost him because he is 46 points behind Feeney going into the next round. If that wheel hadn't fallen off and they had a good pit stop, who knows, he could have the orange numbers. Cameron Waters still somehow 4th position, no idea how if he keeps qualifying outside the top 10. Kai Allen 5th position, very good from the youngster. This is the reason why Penrite is neck and neck with 888 in the Teams Championship. Ryan Wood 6th position, probably would be 5th if it wasn't for those engine issues. And Dante Pasquale holding up the Chevrolet flag in 7th. James Golding still in 8th, so BRT are still in the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship. Will Brown somehow still in 9th position. I guess the hit or miss weekend for a lot of people has helped Will Brown. And Jack LeBrock, with his consistent inside the top 10 and just outside the top 10 finishes, has him just inside the top 10. So for the next round, we go from one small island to another. We go to Tasmania for the next round. So I will be reviewing that round when it comes around. But if you liked this video and you want to see more Supercars content, give a like and subscribe. The support would be very much appreciated. While you wait for the next video, which should be out during the week, I have something a bit different planned. Check out one of these 2 videos beside me. I have no idea what the algorithm will pick, and I will see you in the next video, whatever one that may be.